the second quarter, but they've looked a lot better here, especially latter half of the third quarter.
And it really just shows the depth that this Oregon team has, that they're not relying on one player to do it all tonight. We talked about it was Philip Pinochet and Amina Mohammed in the first half, but in that third quarter, it's kind of all Peyton Scott.
Yeah.
Washington State gets the ball, and immediately Tahina. Oregon bringing the pressure. Villa cutting inside on the baseline, goes through Sarah Ramos's defense, and gets the first points for the Cougars here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it resulted in points, but that's still, I think, a good defensive possession for Oregon. It's a lot of pressure, and because they're so deep, they can keep doing that.
Scott in the corner, off the mark, a little bit too strong for that one. Both teams coming out with a lot of intensity here to start the fourth quarter. Now in the corner, Abraham lets it fly. That one way too short. Easy rebound for Oregon. Moving it ahead, Peyton Scott. Euro steps inside. Nothing but net for Peyton Scott there.
Well, why not a 20-piece? Oregon offense, it's starting to come back a little bit.
Down low, Petsaku was working in against Filipina Che. Nevius come back to the game for Oregon. And take a look at the last bucket. Peyton Scott, coast to coast. It just feels like every time she has it on one end, just watch out. So much speed. She's able to take it all the way on the other.
Yeah, a new season high for her as well. Previous of 17 against Grand Canyon. She's been great.
Tahina pulls up from the right elbow. Mevius right there with the defense. Altea over to Mevius. Now puts up another floater and gets it to fall. Back-to-back floaters fall for Mevius.
She's not taking these crazy shots, just kind of floating them up from about 10 to 12 feet out. But getting them to go, she'll take that any day.
The whistle gets blown as Tahina looked like she was about to let one fly from three-point range.
Just creating space for herself, sliding over to the right. That's a good take from Mevius.
Villa from three-point range. Dipped away by Mevius. Mevius coming away with it, pushing ahead for Oregon, going up against Villa on the other end. Too strong off the backboard. Now Wallach in the corner, and that one misses as well. Both teams have struggled in the last few possessions. Alatea. Sarah Rambish, she's had a quiet night, just 2 points to her name. Mevius going up with it through the contact and in. Could be the quarter of Elisa Mevius. She's able to hit back-to-back shots, and now a timeout taken by Washington State.
Yeah, Oregon really just starting to apply all that pressure. I mean, this was extremely close at halftime, and well, not so much anymore.
Ducks on a 6-0 run over the last minute and 30 seconds. Washington State got to figure something out quick if they want to try to come back in this one. Ducks up big, looking to bounce back here at Matthew Knight Arena. Ducks closing in on win number 7 in this young season as they lead by 71-57 over Washington State. And the big reason has been Peyton Scott for Oregon. She only had 4 points coming out of the coming out of the first half, actually. Now she's up to 20 on the night. She's really taken over for Oregon, Carson.
Yeah, and it's kind of exactly what Oregon needed, right? The last few games, it's been a struggle, even, before the break, right? They really struggled offensively. They still are not completely out of it. They just needed something to go right, because it felt like last few games everything had kind of gone wrong. No one was getting hot, but now, here today, Peyton Scott really leading the charge after being nearly silent in the first half. I mean, only 4 points, 16 in the second, season high of 20. She's been great.
She's been unbelievable. 17 points against GCU. That was her previous season high. And immediately, Sophia Bell, Washington State trying to inbound, and she puts it up and not able to finish.
Just had too much time.
I didn't think
too open.
That's one she wants back, Carson. Wallach working against Muhammad, trying to create separation, goes in off the backboard, and is able to fall through.
That was a nice little move. Faked right, spun back left, gets it off the glass. She's having a very quietly good night.
Nevius has had a good fourth quarter for Oregon so far. Falatea inside with the left hand. Tipped away by Rambis, but it gets tipped in the hands of Tahina for Washington State. Tahina up ahead. Wallach with room. Well short. Wallach hasn't been able to find anything for three-point range. Now on the other end for Oregon. Falatea, second attempt. She goes up, and this time she gets fouled.
And Oregon just continues to draw contact, get chances from the line. I mean, it was really physical, but not physical enough to call a foul, at least not, all that much that often. But this one warrants it. Falatea a chance.
First trip to the line tonight for Falatea. She was able to connect on her first free throw.
Yeah, this fourth quarter and really second half of the third quarter as well is where this Oregon offense and defense too, to be honest, wants to be. And this is a good step in the right direction for the Ducks. Washington State, I mean, they're still not out of it. We've seen them go on runs.
And right on cue, Villa goes up with it. Was able to get 2 points to cut it to an 11-point deficit for Washington State. Now Sophia Bell lets a three fly. Takes a few rattles and finally falls in. A sigh of relief here from the Oregon fans. And Sophia Bell gets her first three-pointer fall.
You could almost hear the groans start as it popped up, and then everyone start cheering as it fell back down. Good catch and shoot triple for Sophia Bell.
Now Wallach postering inside against Rambis. Spin move inside. A nice move there from Wallach.
Yeah, we've seen her do that or something similar a couple of times tonight. She's got some good ball handling.
Nevius trying to take it past half court. Looks like Villa, too much contact from her.
Yeah, maybe just a little frustration foul as things are starting to get away from Washington State here.
It's been a pretty clean game so far for both teams. 12 fouls for Washington State, 8 for Oregon. And outside of Filipina Che for the Ducks, no one's really in foul trouble up to this point.
Yeah, another thing to kind of mention, 18 assists for Oregon. They're dishing it out pretty good. 7 steals. Defense has been solid as well.
The shot clock gets reset. Nevius double team for a second. Now hands off to Falatea. Rambis. Over to Bell. Bell going inside. She gets fouled as she goes up. Looks like this one's going to go against Pateku. And Pettigrew is going to get charged with her 4th foul. It's the only Cougar in foul trouble so far. Falatea gets the inbound, but Muhammad's going to get called with the foul. So Oregon gives the ball right back to the Cougars. Ducks outscoring Washington State 11-8 here in the 4th quarter. Villa moving to her left, trying to get it to Hina. Ducks bringing the pressure, and just no one, and finally a whistle gets called. And it looks like a timeout got called against Washington State. Oregon thought they got away with it. They were just pressing with defense, but Cammie Etheridge on Washington State's bench was able to get a timeout going. So a timeout gets called with just under 5 minutes to play. Ducks up by 13, but Washington State trying to claw their way back into this one.
We're back out of it. Looks like maybe they are not firing on all cylinders. Maybe, I'll call it 3 of 5 cylinders firing right now. But they're getting closer. They're inching closer, and that's kind of right where you want to be at the start of conference play.
A big opportunity, too, for the Ducks to get back in the polls. They're receiving votes, but after their losses in Hawaii, they dropped out as high as 21 in the week before the Hawaii tournament. And you know that Kelly Graves wants to get his team back in that top 25 slot. Immediately, Filipino Che fighting down low with Pettigrew. It looks like one of the camera guys was taken out.
Good shot of this. Oh, watch out.
Our man Nathan, watch out over there. Get himself resituated. Taking one for the team there. Looks like he lost the hat, too.
Yeah, shout out.
The officials going over the table, making sure the clock's right. We're about to resume play.
They're also trying to see who's going to have possession here. Looks like they're replaying.
I think Pettigrew was making the argument that she went up with it and it got tipped away by Che. Or maybe that she was fouled. Well, Ducks get the ball. And it looks like it was a jump ball. The possession arrow says it'll go to Oregon. And play resumes. Nevius moving the ball ahead. A double team as she was bringing it up. Like Ducks might try to wind this clock down as much as possible. Moving a little bit slower. Kelly, cross-court pass out to Peyton Scott. Lets one fly from the left wing. Yes! Peyton Scott on fire. 23 points tonight for the senior point guard.
Yeah, that one was a beauty. A high arcer. Nothing but net. And Oregon is separating.
Villa looking to answer. Too strong. Scott chasing it down against Tahina. And Tahina is going to get called with the foul. It'll go to Oregon. But Peyton Scott, 4 of 7 from beyond the arc tonight. 7 of 12 from the field after she only had 4 points for the first 2 quarters. Yeah, it's really fun to watch her tonight.
A 19-point second half. That plays. And a little bit of desperation heaving for Washington State. They had a lot of time on the shot clock, but just trying to inch their way back in any way possible. It's getting to that point for the Cougars.
Kelly driving down the baseline, now backs out. Working around the screen. Peyton Scott thought about it again. Instead driving. Che. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Che trying to get a shot up. Able to get it to Amina Mohammed. Mohammed falls in. Took a spin around the rim and finally fell through. We've seen that a lot tonight from Amina Mohammed. Just Philly Che and Mohammed. It feels like they've had such a good connection tonight. Every time one of them is in trouble, the other one just bails her out.
And, I mean, all this talk about Peyton Scott, rightfully so, because she's been on fire. But Amina Mohammed, a chance for her 19th point. She can't get it to go. So 18 points, 9 of 12 from the field. Also 4 rebounds to go along with it. She is having a night. Billy Che is having a night. It's been a good night for the Oregon offense.
Washington State trying to cut in this deficit. Tipped away by Mohammed. Mevius grabs the steal. Up ahead. Mohammed finishes. And Mohammed joins Peyton Scott. 20 points on the night now.
Yeah, the steal for her, and then a little give and go. Get herself a couple of points. And 2 Ducks with 20 plus. It's good stuff.
See a couple fresh faces on the floor for Washington State. It's Jean Chu and Marta Alzina.
Just got a replay of that. Mohammed just stuck her hand up and completely took it away.
Mevius and Che taking a seat. They're getting a round of applause, and deservedly so. Che, 13 points, 10 rebounds. Back-to-back double-doubles here at Matthew Knight Arena. In Oregon's last game against Auburn, she also had a double-double. 14 points and 11 rebounds. She does it again here tonight.
And also Elisa Mevius, I mean, got to give her some credit. 4 of 8 from the field in her first start on the season. 9 points, 6 assists. She's been all over the place. And Oregon, these last 3 minutes, really going to be able to open it up and run this clock down.
Now it looks like Washington State's bringing in their entire bench. Alice Dart on the floor for the Cougars. Asia Kelly, just 4 points to her name. Quiet night for her. She's able to bounce pass inside to Mohammed, but gets blocked by Washington State. Time winding down, just over 2:30. Separating Oregon from win number 7. Chu, guarded by Alexis Whitfield. Now Long comes in, takes over. Oregon still applying the pressure. Now Chu gets a 3-pointer to fly, too short. I think the buzzer was about to sound off before that one hit the rim. Looks like Washington State is going to keep it.
Yeah, I think Peyton Scott called for a foul. Yeah, just a little aggressive fighting for the rebound.
And Peyton Scott comes off the floor. Fans at Matthew Knight showing her love. And Carson, you got to think, a night like this feel good for her. She was out all of last season with injury. She got hurt in her first game. So hard for her, but she was able to get that medical red shirt and come back this year. And she's been a true leader for this Oregon Duck team and the early success here in this part of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's going to be crucial the rest of the way. The experience that she has at the collegiate level and what she's been able to do tonight has been impressive.
Kelly misses the mark there, but Mohammed comes in and grabs the miss. Balatea, 3-pointer. Tipped by Alexis Whitfield, and another offensive rebound down low. Amina Mohammed, great feed from Deja Kelly. And the Oregon bench fired up after that one. Mohammed, 22 points for her tonight, and she comes off.
Yeah, she's going to leave to a standing ovation as well. So 22 for her, 23 for Scott. And the floodgates have opened, folks.
Three-pointer is good there from Abraham. The Ducks looking to wind down the clock. Kelly driving in on the baseline, pulls up. I'm going to say no shot. Going to be an offensive foul against Kelly.
Frustrating one for her. She'll check out for final time tonight. Only 4 points, 2 of 10 from the field. But, I mean, the Ducks still scored 85 points with no production from their leading scorer.
Yeah, you got to think it's a rough night for Deja Kelly. A little bit frustrating, but still going to be happy that Oregon will get the win. Colville. Washington State still trying to put up some points here in the late part of this one. Down low, Dart trying to get a shot up, but it's stolen away by Falatea. See if Oregon gets a shot off here, and probably going to be their last possession. 10 seconds on the shot clock, Falatea. Out to Long.
Gotta hurry.
Long trying to go through the legs of Alzina. Was not able to pull off that trick move. 5 seconds on the game clock. Oregon, they didn't have the ideal first road trip of the year in Hawaii. Lost both games. But the Ducks are able to bounce back here at Matthew Knight Arena and win this one 85-70 over Washington State and get their first win against the Cougars in the last 4 matchups. Everything was working tonight for Oregon, Carson.
Yeah, absolutely. 9 different players had at least 2 points for the Ducks tonight, headlined by the big 3 of Mohamed, Che, and Scott. 22, 23, and 13, respectively. It was a good night. It was a good bounce-back night, and one that obviously needed to happen. Had the rough trip on the road in a neutral site. So what? Flush it, come back home, and put up 85 points, win by 15 when you were tied at halftime.
Talking about a complete team performance. Oregon, they did exactly that tonight. Ducks win this one 85-70. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, our player of the game interview with Max Rago. I'm giving you our final thoughts of the game. Ducks win this one. Win number 7 on the year for Oregon. 15-point victory against Washington State. We're back after this on Big Ten Plus.
Y'all got someone new over here every week.
Back here inside Matthew Knight Arena, Ducks win 85-70, a complete game performance for Oregon, but they were led out there by their star and Peyton Scott, who's standing by with our sideline reporter Max Ragle.
We're on.
Hey, Dog, right here. Hey, Dog.
I'm here. I'm here sideline with Peyton Scott. Peyton, your season high in points tonight. But what I want to ask you, 2 weeks ago, after you guys beat Auburn, you talked about the importance of adapting quarter in and quarter out. How do you feel your team adapted to the adversity you faced tonight?
Yeah, I think we came out in the first half and we played okay, but the second quarter came and we played a little flat. So when we went into halftime, they just kind of got on us because we expect more out of ourselves. You know, we have a higher standard. I feel like we adapted well coming out in the third quarter and really turned the game around.
You had 4 points at halftime. The second half, It was a barbecue. What changed for you in the second half?
You know, the coaches got on me a little bit. It's just about, again, the standard you hold for yourself. You know, as a leader on the team, you got to show up, and I didn't feel like I showed up in the first half, and the coaches called me on that, as they should have. And, again, as a leader, I said we was going to play for something bigger tonight, and first half to second half, I had to make a change because I wasn't doing that.
How important was the rebounding battle coming into this game, given what happened last week in Hawaii?
Absolutely. We made that a point. This was kind of our revenge game for rebounding. And I feel like we did a good job of getting on the boards and boxing out and didn't give up too many O boards. And it allowed us to get out in transition and create some momentum.
Last but not least, you guys are heading into Big Ten conference play. You have a good USC team coming here on Saturday. How do you guys feel moving into Big Ten conference play?
We feel great. We're excited. This win tonight is going to help us bring that momentum into Saturday. And, you know, we're going to take it one game at a time. We're going to focus on us and not make the game bigger than what it is because we know we're capable of beating anybody.
Thanks a ton, Peyton. Congratulations on the great night. Saul, Carson, back to you guys.
Thanks, Max. A big game against USC coming up on Saturday at 1 o'clock. That one on Big Ten Network. But for now, all smiles from Oregon as they're able to bounce back after dropping their first 2 games of the year in Hawaii. 85-70 the finals. We take a look at the final stats. Carson, just a complete game performance. And at this point in the year, before you head into conference play, you got to think that's what Kelly Graves wants to see out of his team.
Yeah, absolutely. In non-conference, it doesn't feel good losing games, right? There's no question about that. But it's about making steps. And steps were made tonight for this Oregon team. We put a big emphasis on the rebounding battle. And certainly the team did as well as they out-rebounded Washington State 37-28. And, you know, 3 offensive players really got it going when nothing went right the last 2 or so games for the Ducks. So things are starting to turn in the right direction right when they need to.
Yeah, and a big point tonight for Oregon, too, the paint points, 50-32. Felt like Oregon was just controlling down low, especially the combination of Philippina Che and Amina Mohammed. Mohammed also with 22 points, so a big night for her as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And she wasn't just doing it in the post, right? She had a couple catch-and-shoot opportunities from about 15 feet out or so, and she was knocking them down. So all around a really good night for her, and they've got a great connection, those two. I mean, both very physical down low. Those are going to be some really good options for the Oregon offense as we get set for conference play.
Well, the Ducks start the month of December with a victory as they move to 7-2 on the season. Washington State, they drop to 4-5, and we'll look to bounce back next week against BYU. Carson, good to be with you, as always. We're Max Regal for Carson Mercier and our entire video crew, the Quack video crew, as well as our producer, Alex Stimson. My name is Saul Galvan, saying so long here from Matthew Knight Arena as Ducks get it done. Bounce back, 85-70 victory over Washington State.